Okay, you start.
She always gets up the minute that I start.
Okay.
Okay, today's podcast is The Yarn Closet from Tucson, Arizona. And monsoons have started, not with a bang, but they have started. My hair's a little less than fabulous because of it. We've got humidity at like 48% or something. Yarn Closet AZ for Arizona on Instagram. And The Yarn Closet on Patreon. I will talk more about that later because a lot of people don't understand that there is free content on Patreon. And then you can reach us at TheYarnCloset@yahoo.com.
Okay, go ahead. Good morning.
This is Knitting Kitty, my mom, and we are doing a podcast. This is going to be our last one in July. School starts next week for one of my kids and the following week for the other kid.
What is the date today?
The 23rd.
You know-
August 1st is a week from Thursday when school starts for the little one.
You know how old Prue is today? Exactly.
No, not 4.5.
No, she's 4 years and 3 months today. Lately, we've been taking her places, and people have said, "Oh, but she looks like she's 5 or 6." Okay, go ahead. I have something to tell about today.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So that is where you can find us online. My mom's not on Instagram. She's got an account on Ravelry, but she's not very active.
That would be as.
She was on there like twice.
Well, it's just too much
Ravelry
stuff. I
is
got
hard to. Ravelry is hard for visually impaired people. What you may not know is this eye does not work. This eye works a little bit. She's got macular degeneration. We're both legally blind.
But cute as heck.
And
You have to say, "Oh yeah."
oh yeah, cute as heck. And people actually tell us sometimes that we're cute because they think that we can't tell or that our husbands don't tell us or whatever.
I've been up
No,
for
they
all
don't
of
really.
20 minutes right now because we were up watching TV till
You
4.
knew we were podcasting today.
I didn't know it. I forgot it. And so we had gone out last night to a concert and then stayed up until 4 o'clock in the morning watching some stuff on TV. Oh my gosh, we were watching good stuff. But so I forgot all about it. So
This is why I can't wait for retirement because my parents' social lives just skyrocketed after 50 and 60. And I know that the social life I have wanted during this midlife that I've never really had, I might just get it.
I never had a social life like this.
No, it's crazy. This is what you always wanted. Complained a
Sometimes,
lot growing up about it.
yeah, sometimes we go out once a week. Sometimes we go out 5 nights in a row. We don't go out drinking. We just like to go hear live theater and live music. It's rare we go for even a movie, although I've taken Prue to a movie. I took her to a movie that Ed dropped us off. We saw the Minions. What do they speak? They speak a Minion language.
Yeah, just something
It was
stupid.
garbled or something. But she had a blast, and they had a lot of Beatles music in this, and I just loved it. I loved the Beatles music. The grandma who was sitting with her granddaughter next to, we were humming, we're singing, whatever. Want to hear my story?
Yes, that was your story.
Okay, so here's the thing about the alpacas. Remember that I did not believe there was an animal called an alpaca? How come I never knew an alpaca? I still don't know what it looks like.
Llamas?
It looks
But
like
different? Similar but different?
I don't. I'll go to the zoo someday and find a picture of an alpaca
Okay.
so I can see. Okay, so I didn't believe her that there was really an alpaca. There is. So I'm reading this book, and all of a sudden this lady's talking about they're trying to figure out what kind of animals to have for their front yard. they buy this, I don't know, they bought a house with a big front yard or something. And, you know, like some people would buy goats.
Alpacas.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah. And you know what they do to tell you they're mad at you?
They spit at you.
Yes.
Yeah. So she said, so, yeah. Oh, isn't that cute? It's cute. Anyway, so I had to do some research on them, very little, because I'm not really into a lot of research. I like to just do my own stuff. So, alpacas cannot bite you. They get a couple alpacas. They can't bite because they only have bottom teeth, so they can't bite people.
Well, they can still bite you. I had a dog that only had 2 teeth, and trust me, it could still bite you.
She says they can't. And she said they don't have hard hooves like if you had a little horses in your front yard. They have pads, so that was a nice thing. And they're very pricey. And people buy them to raise them for their wool or their alpaca fur or whatever you call it.
Yes.
That's my
Fiber.
Whatever, that's my story. Okay, go.
So the big announcement this week is that we are scaling back. We are in our 1-year anniversary month, and it has been fun. I started this. I've really enjoyed it. It's because I wanted to be involved in the community, because I'd been watching the podcasts and realizing that there was a real community of knitters out there. I'd been involved in a smallish community of crocheters, but then I realized that there was this much bigger network of people who did both or knitted. And for months I was learning how to knit, and I was watching some of the podcasts, and then I was realizing there were a lot of people who were podcasting and they didn't have anything to gain from it. There are a lot of people out there podcasting who do not have a business related podcast. And I thought, okay, I can do this, and I can make some people that I can be friends with and chat with on Instagram. And someday, because my goal for my 50s is to do the knitting retreats, because I turned 48 in September. So that's my goal.
Geez, you look good for 48.
Thanks.
You were supposed to say
You look good for
almost,
70 something.
almost 73.
Yeah.
I got to get my hair cut and colored, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started it because my son didn't really understand this whole YouTube thing, or why I would let him watch certain things, but not like just delve into the world of it. And
He loves anything about history.
so anyway,
Yeah.
we got going with this so he could understand the behind the scenes. He could understand that what an online friend really is, that unless you do something in real life, once you've met them online, there's a different level of support and interaction, but you still have to be a friend to make a friend. Okay? So these are the things behind why I started. And because I was going through a difficult time in my life, I still am, and I'm housebound. I'm legally blind. I drive a little scooter about a half mile to church, the kids' school, my mom's house, and CVS. That's it, people. And you can't just Uber when you've got a little kid in a car seat. That is not the answer to life.
Because you have to bring your own car seat.
And some
then carry
Ubers
it
don't
around.
want to deal with the liability of having a kid in a car seat in their private car.
Yeah.
And then if you have other kids who are non-social people, you're not going out a lot with them, or you're having to stay home from some of the activities that maybe dad will take the daughter to, or grandma and grandpa will take the daughter to, but I'm staying home with one of the other kids. I mean, I understand and appreciate everyone's input. And I understood going into this about trolls and about harassment and everything else. But I will say this, and this is going to be a little bit long. If you want to skip past it, skip past it. One thing that exploded in the knitting community online after I started this, it went from let's look at pretty pictures of yarn and knit and crochet to I'm angry because I'm being excluded. And there became this huge thing about inclusion based on race, size inclusion and patterns, disability. Disability has been kind of thrown to the backside. And I get a lot of flack because people look at me and don't see my disability. Unless I am waving my blind cane around, they don't get it. And then they think, how can you do that anyway? And if you can do that, well, then it's not that big of a deal. Okay, a person in a wheelchair can go on a special bus and can get places and can have jobs and can do all the regular stuff of life. Are you going to tell them it's not a big deal that they're in a wheelchair? Because I'm telling you, you can get up late and have 20 minutes to get out the door and make it. They might not be able to. They might have to coordinate with 16 other people to accomplish an activity outside their own home. I am a part of that argument and that discord and that hurt that is floating around out there, but I don't like to focus on it. I like to focus on trying to remember that everyone has something that's going on in their life that you don't see. Everyone's heart is vulnerable. And I have not allowed negative comments on the YouTube channel. But it's been hard and it's been growing as my little channel. I mean, I don't even have 500 subscribers and I'm not trying to make money. But people, because I have a Patreon and people, because I have a website that will be done as of the middle of August, and I put up some patterns on there and I put up some yarn tubes and some braille stitch markers because I was asked to. I didn't expect to make money off of it, but those few people who wanted to give me $5 so I could ship them the braille tags instead of letting me ship it to them for free, there's been a lot of backlash around that. And I started out in this getting backlash initially from some of the people that I connected with in the podcast world who criticized me because I wasn't selling anything. You know, don't waste people's time out there if you're not selling something. Well, I'm sorry, I'm housebound and I need to talk to people right now in my life. So this is the level of friendship I can establish, I can gain, and that's okay. But I just, the harassment has gotten a little too much. Mom and I started, and my mom and I don't physically see each other or interact on a regular basis. Neither one of us can drive. I have a 4-year-old with more energy than you can imagine, so Grandpa can't handle both kids so that we can have lunch together. If all 4 of us are having lunch together, there's no social interaction. I mean, this is literally it, and we work hard to coordinate and carve out this hour of time, and then get a lot of backlash about how snotty I am and how mean I am and all this stuff. And I don't need it right now. I need to protect my heart. I just had some massive harassment on Ravelry, and flagging and complaining did nothing. And I know that going out here like this, I opened myself up for it. But that doesn't mean that I have to just take it. You can online moderate your activities if something's not working. And if you realize that you are feeling hurt on a certain platform, then leave that platform. Because the bottom line is, you can talk all you want about what people should do, But the only person that I can control is me.
And
Those glasses are cute.
this gives me a plus 6.25 because I have implanted lenses in my eyes and these, and together that's. But look at but I can see what I'm doing here. And
Yeah, I wear it at +7.
Yeah,
So when you buy your readers that are a plus 1.25,
or 2s or 250s. A lot of people older wear. Yeah, older. I know, older. Yeah, and you know what? And we have
can
gotten.
I finish?
Oh,
So, the only person that you can control is yourself. So I have gone off Ravelry, which is a bummer because it's a great place to find patterns. But, and I've closed down the website because, like I said, I'm not out here to get money. I did have a Patreon. I continue to have a Patreon, and I will continue to take patrons on the Patreon. Because one thing that I did in this process of being a friend first, I was so excited. I got a circular sock machine. And so I gave out prizes, monthly prizes, and special occasion prizes to people because buying a cranked sock tube online is often cost prohibitive for people. You get a $25 skein of indie dyed yarn, you have a $15 cranking fee, so now you're up to $40, then a $5 plus shipping fee, you know, $45 to have one skein cranked for you of an indie dyed yarn, that's price pointing out a lot of people. So in the same vein as so many other people on here, I was giving out monthly prizes, and some of what I was doing was passing on books that I no longer am able to read or that I was gifted when I couldn't read them, which is most of them. So I've never knit out of them because to me, I'm not going to buy a pattern and knit from it and then give it to somebody else to knit from. I'm going to ask them to buy the pattern. But I will give away a pattern that I've never knit, that I was gifted in written form that I'm not going to use. I will give away a book that was purchased that I've never knit from. I've never even read anything in. And if you really do listen to all of the podcast stuff, you would have heard that before, but people don't. I don't always listen all the way through, whatever. So we are scaling back. I'm still going to be on Instagram because it's my personal account. I like Instagram. I'm not a Facebook user. I still have an account because I'm on occasionally. And
I don't even know what Instagram is.
yeah, it's just like a picture thing.
Yeah, don't
it's
tell
like
me.
a more picture Facebooky thing.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
then I'm still going to be on Patreon because I'm still going to give out prizes. We are going to announce the last 2 prizes of this anniversary month, and then I will go to doing 2 prizes a year, one every 6 months, and I will pull from the Patreon people for that. So if you contribute $1 a month, you'll get into the prize drawings. And there are different levels, and there's one really big level. So if people really want one of these prizes, go on there, contribute financially to help offset the cost, and you'll get one. It's guaranteed. And if you don't want to participate financially, then don't. But go on Patreon anyway, make an account, and follow me on there because you will get all the free content. Because there's paid for content on Patreon, but there's a lot of free content. I'm following a lot of people for free on Patreon, and it's following like their blog information. It's getting the occasional free download or
Do
something.
they teach you how to do a certain stitch and stuff?
Mom, you'd have to go on and find somebody who does that. But yes, some people probably do.
Yeah, that's a lot of work for me.
I know. Because her vision is much
got her.
harder to deal with maneuvering these things. It's called orienting yourself to things. Than people understand. And so
Tell me when you're almost done because
I'm almost done.
Okay.
So anyway,
there are some people who,
We're not leaving entirely. We will
No.
still podcast every once in a while because people want to see Kitty's progress in this. People want me to do some tutorials.
Yeah.
They want me to write some of my patterns. I will do that over on Patreon. Most of them will be free because I like to rework existing stitch patterns into different shapes and sizes and such.
to make them personal for you.
Right, because it's
works.
just hard for me to just constantly be reading a pattern.
I can't read, I hate to tell you people, but I don't know how you people read patterns because if I, first of all, I don't see them well, so then I have to blow them up. But I think, oh, what the heck was KFO again, and what's a KB again? And then I have to go to my notes. You know, it's too much.
I know.
I'm going to stick to just a couple stitches because I'm doing them and I'm doing them well.
That's fine, and that's fine. And you
I
will
know, and I
eventually
have
get to the
you.
point where, right, and so she asks me to explain a pattern to her, and it's
Over and
easier.
over. What did you just do? I saw that. Oh,
I didn't roll my eyes, it just looked like it.
I know. There are a
So
lot.
I'm done now, so you can
Oh.
show your knitting.
So there are a lot of people who have said, you know, that we're really snarky. We are, but you know, we have
But
always
it's
said.
so much
but
better than the house I grew up in. Oh my God. That was painful. Sarcasm up the yin yang.
we only had girls in our house,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a neighbor who had,
4 girls.
yeah, she had 3 girls, and then we thought she was. Oh my God, we thought, how is she going to do this? She got pregnant at 38 with her last child. We all thought, she's so old, 38.
Oh my God.
I know. Then she had this baby. This is a true story. She has this baby, and she developed a blood clot in her lungs. Well, her doctor was also a friend of all of ours, and she lived right in back of us. And we were all buddies and had all our kids playing together. And he comes in and says to them, you got to take that baby and get her out of here right now, to the husband. And he said, take her over to Kitty's. Okay, and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. We get this knock on the door, and here's the dad holding this newborn baby. It was like 2 days old.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I got to get back to the hospital. But he said, you got the baby, go to the house. He said, figure it out, get the keys, get the blah, 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 take care of all the kids and stuff. But he says, they think Kay might not make it. She did. But we got to have that baby at our house for the next 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And they had 3 older girls. We had 2. So we had 5 girls taking care of that little tiny baby. The fighting was like ghastly. They all wanted, let me hold her, let me do it, and oh my God, we all thought we were going to just lose it. So then the kids started school, and we went down to, we lived in a small town, we had a dairy, and we went down to this dairy, and we got a gallon of homemade peach ice cream. She and I hid this ice cream because we weren't going to share it with the kids. We hid the ice cream in the back of the freezer, and every day we would get you kids off to school, and then I would go over, she would make coffee, ouch, I just bumped it. She would make coffee, and we would have a dish of ice cream and say, they don't pay teachers enough. You know, and this is why boarding school maybe is a good idea in England, because we're not going to make it to raise 6 girls. Well, that was my story. But we got to have that baby at our house for 6 months. To borrow a baby from somebody else for 6 months is really fun, and it's a treat. And it was really sad when that baby had to go back home, because every day, you know, Mom came over, or I took her over there. But, well, that was just such a fun time. But can you imagine today saying, oh no, somebody has this, they're pregnant, they're having a baby, and they're 38 years old, they're so old. Joan London had, I think she had twins when she was 54 years old.
I thought she had a surrogate.
Well, yeah. Maybe she didn't have them herself. But
Bridget
It's
Nielsen
real.
is like 50-something having a baby. Or
What?
Brigitte Nielsen.
however
Yeah,
you say her.
whatever.
But you know what? I think, they say there's good and bad. You're more patient. And
No, you're more tired and exhausted and you don't have the fight in you to give a
That's
crap.
That's
It's
it.
not patience, people. It's not patience. But I'm thrilled because when my mom dies, I will still have someone to talk to because I have a daughter. And I'm serious when I say that because honestly, the only person I talk to, other than my kids, is my mom. I talk to my stepdad a little bit when he drives me around. I talk to my dad a little bit. I'll say hello to the teachers and chit chat. But honey, I don't have people I'm talking to. It's you guys online. You
Today's-
are my lifeline.
Today's society is a whole different type of society that we don't have the same interaction.
Stop wrapping it.
Well, what am I doing wrong now on this?
Stop
Just show me.
wrapping
Why am I
it.
wrapping it when I'm purling? I'm doing it right the other way, the nitty part.
Oh, you're purling. Okay.
I'm purling.
Okay, then you are to wrap when you're purling. I'm sorry.
Am I-
I missed that. I couldn't.
I wrap-
Yes, you're doing the right thing.
You couldn't see it.
I couldn't see it that time. I didn't realize you were purling.
Yeah, I'm purling. Am I supposed
Yep,
to
you're
wrap
doing
it
it.
up?
You're doing it. No, that's fine. Perfect.
Oh,
That's
good.
fine.
See, do you want to see how nice this is? Look at Lynette Crochet Grammy.
Move it over a little.
Okay. Look at the colors in this. I don't know.
So this is the back. What she's showing you right now is.
This is the front. This is going to be the
Oh,
front.
the front. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's garter stitch border on the bottom and the sides. It's hard to tell because this is variegated, but I think you can tell a little bit.
Yeah.
And she's just going to make it very long. It's quite wide. I think it's going to end up being 12 to 16 inches wide. And
Yeah, I don't know.
then she's going to flip it up for the pockets and seam the sides because that
No,
will
I'm
be
not.
very easy.
I'm not going to do it that way.
You're not going to have pockets?
I am, but I am not doing it that way. Lynette, I love your reader shawl. And this is Lynette's reader shawl, my version knit that Laura wrote up for me because I can't crochet. But Lynette's doing the crochet one. But you know what I'm going to do? I have all these blocks that I've made.
Oh, you're going to put a quilt on it.
Quilted. I'm going to take a
Yep.
quilted block and just, pad it and stuff. And then I'm going to put patchwork pockets.
And you're just going to hand sew it to this.
Is that a cute idea?
Yes. Now, I will tell you one thing that you want to do when you hand sew to knitting in that vein.
Yeah.
Because pockets, you're going to put stuff in the pockets.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be weight on it.
Yeah.
So if you tried to sew just into this knitting as it is,
Yeah.
the pocket itself is going to be slightly heavy on the
So
front.
put something on the back?
You're going to want to put a piece of fabric also on the back, so you're sewing all the way through from the fabric in the front, the knit, and then the fabric in the back, so that there's going to be a backing here to help give it that weighted support. And you're going to
good
want
idea.
to, and you may not want it to be a solid piece, you may just want it to be like a U shape.
Yeah.
Because remember, and what you make on the front, make it light enough that it's not going to pull your
it.
knitting
Yeah.
when you attach it.
But you know what? This has been, I liked it. You didn't like this because it's so bright and stuff. And then I thought, I was going to wear it. Then I didn't think I was going to wear it. And now the more that I'm really getting into this, I just am loving this. Can you imagine, just
So I
yellow
thought it was
top.
bright and crazy, because this
Look at
isn't.
this.
And this is just personal preference.
Yeah. Can you see this? Look at how it's just rows of little things.
Dots like hearts.
It's like little hearts. It's just, this is.
So that's called mosaic knitting, those little hearts. It's a type of color work. And that was I want to do color work eventually, but reading charts is really hard. So it'll be more like mosaic color work.
I love this.
And then the stitch marker at the bottom, I was just slogging away at this. And then I just was like, I got to do something different.
Now, who is this for?
Well, it's for me, if it fits me when it's all said and done. Because I long
I
ago
like it.
gave up on following a pattern.
I like it. I like how it's got. I'm looking at it. It's got this brightness.
So this is the skein of yarn. It's a Yowza from Miss Babs. That's the person who made it.
Oh, and you've got it on one of your husband's yarn spoolies.
So he makes me yarn spoolies.
Oh yeah,
So that's why people cake their yarn up.
that's called caking it.
Yeah, when it looks like this, it's called a cake.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I really shouldn't have criticized you on your reader's shawl. It's just personal preference.
But you know what? I like because you give me constructive. I know when you're actually being snotty. That's when if
they
you were
say
young,
your best
I would
friend
give.
is your meanest friend.
If you were young, I would give you a timeout. Now, as a mother, you're not getting one because you would enjoy it too dang much. I
Right.
would swear, but see, then I have to touch that button, and that.
Well, we have to disclaim it, and apparently people think I'm swearing on here a lot when I'm saying
Oh,
geez.
well,
I'm saying geez,
we-
not the other one.
Who cares? Who cares? You know what? Life is.
Oh.
You're sore today?
Yeah.
It's this weather. Oh, this weather is crazy here. We were at a theater last night, live theater, to see this concert, and all of a sudden, the guy who's singing goes, I should be singing about the rains come down because it's raining in here. The ceiling the roof is leaking. It poured so hard here last night. This is the first drop of rain we've gotten at our house at all. You get rain at your house 5 blocks away. We have rain. We have a wash that's like right next to us. The wash will be running. We get nothing, and we can stand outside, and we can watch across the street this storm going on. Last night there was a storm, and it was really coming down so heavy, and all of a sudden, and they had to actually come out and wipe up the stage, and then put a bunch of stuff down so people didn't slip
You
and
okay?
fall on it.
Yeah,
This is
our podcast.
this is our
TheYarnCloset fans.
this is our
Okay,
handsome
thank you.
11-year-old boy. Isn't he just cute?
And yes, Grandma was telling the truth about the cat. She mentioned it too soon.
What?
Okay, you can go now, but thank you.
Okay, bye, TheYarnCloset fans.
So,
Such a good-looking boy and nice. You did a nice job raising this kid so far.
thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to move on from her reader shawl to my sweater. So I long ago gave up on this because this is my year of the sweater. Last year I figured out socks, although I'm still working on it because apparently I'm very hard on my socks. So now I'm going to be reinforcing my heels and toes, but I just blew out another pair of socks, but not even in the heel or the toe. So I'm maybe not making my heels
Part
big
of it
enough.
is because we have so much tile, but we don't have like tile like we had up north. We have
It's not all soft tile.
no, and it's a Mexican tile and stuff, which is beautiful in our homes, but very hard. And then they have this grout that is kind of about a ½ inch wide. That's what makes us have holes in our socks.
I think
Regular socks, let me tell you, I wear slippers that I buy,
Yeah, and you wear through them.
and you wear through them.
But honestly, the dry environment also and the heat just kills things. It kills things. You can tie something up in your backyard for 6 months, and then the rope is literally dead. It disintegrates. So anyway, so I was doing bottom up because I've done bottom up in the round for a really chunky sweater, and that was kind of successful. But the sleeve caps didn't work on it. So then I did a raglan top down, which I knit flat, which I was very successful, but not successful in figuring out my proper sizing. Because I'm going to say that sizing inclusion isn't just for larger people. I recently have lost 6 inches off my bust. That has done something to the way things hang on me and hold on me. So I didn't feel as comfortable in that sweater after I finished it and had the surgeries. So then this one, I am like a 34-inch bra band. So I was doing this via math. This is a math sweater because you can buy a lot of books that will explain to you how to make various styles of sweaters by calculating your proper math. And I swatched for it. And sweater math lies. It lies. So I long ago have given up on any other pattern. I'm trying to do the math and follow the basic construction via math. It's not working because the bottom is about 12.5 inches wide with the ribbing. And then the green part is supposed to be 38 inches wide, but it's about 36. So I'm going to have to really block it out to get that extra play. So who knows what in the heck's going to happen. And the way that the colors pooled on this, I don't know which side's going to be front or back. And I don't know what happened. I was trying to follow a different tutorial on grafting and I blew it big time. So you can totally see that. So that might end up being the back unless I
can totally see that.
Unless I can take it out.
See, to anybody else.
Oh yeah, you
would
totally could. Mom, you can feel it.
Well, I know, but we would look at it and just think it was supposed to probably be there.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
You wouldn't say that if it was a quilt thing that you'd quilted, a quilt jacket that had a hole in it.
No, not if I knew it. Yeah, see, you know it.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying, somebody just looking at it would say, oh my God, how did that blind lady do that?
Right, so I'm going to finish this with some ribbing on the neckline and then green short sleeves with ribbing. And the thing is, I need to get over my fear of shaping because I have shaped very, very little. So there are no decreases in this. The fact that I'm getting some curvature to this arm deal is I only cast off 4 at the base. I don't know why I'm getting curvature there because it shouldn't be that dramatic. But I'm doing no real shaping, and I'm letting the shaping be from the ribbing, the couple of cast off stitches. I may end up having to do some decreases even in my short sleeve here, although I'm going to try not to because I don't like it. I don't like having to think about it. I get interrupted too much.
It's because you're a mother.
Right.
So get over it.
But anyway, yeah, that's the deal. That's the progress on Sweater 2019.
You know, I'm going to say somebody with full sight would be proud of what they were doing. So I think the fact that we're challenged
just so
with
hard because like
Oh,
I can
I
tell
love
just
that.
through feeling. And this is the thing, before I had to rely on feeling things, I would think things were okay. Because I would vacuum, I would think things are okay. Today I vacuumed in my daughter's room, and then I got down on the carpet
and felt it.
and realized I'd missed a whole section.
Yeah. And you know what?
So everything,
goes
if
on.
you have to feel to decide if it's clean or dirty, guess what? It's always dirty. It's always off. It's always just wrong.
And
It's a pisser.
Well, yes, it is. And it's not going to change the course of history.
No.
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 But, I'm loving it. So I'm thinking, how could I get a row of those little V's in here?
You can't
well,
because
you can't.
that's,
It's so
you would have to put in a
busy.
solid color to be able to get those little
Yeah, because it's so
blips.
busy.
But you could put in a solid color of these into that.
If I was doing a solid color pocket, then I could use this multi-color to go along and do like a row or two. I'm
Yeah.
not doing that though, because I'm using up some of these patches that I've got. Because every time you make a quilt, you end up with, because I always made a block or two first to say, no, I don't like that size. So I'll make it bigger. Then, pretty soon you have a box of, I don't know what we
We
called them.
all have those
Boxes.
hobbies that we paid a lot of money to get into and then just didn't love. And now what do you do with it? We should have like trading groups. When you go to these
Yeah.
retreats, there should be like a trading time
Yeah.
where you can trade stuff.
Yeah. Like, take a little bag.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
We're
I
gonna be-
just finished watching the episode I just watched. It was awesome.
Can you watch another episode?
I bet
Okay.
you can.
Go try, or grab your phone and go in there for half an hour.
Well, next time I'm here, then I'll watch it.
Okay.
I'm gonna do it like Survivor.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Good. All right. We'll be done in about a half an hour. Please go in the other room.
Okay, how long have you been videoing?
3 days now.
About a half an hour. Please go in the other room.
Okay.
If you're hungry, just
You know, and your
get
hair, when you
something.
have to cut your hair yourself, it never feels like you did it quite right. Then you have to let your blind mother trim the back for you, and that's terrifying. Connor.
Look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. Can you see this? I look like a. I look
You're
like
starting to look like Dogny.
I look like.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You're starting to look like Dogny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Need duct tape from the back.
They make that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start wearing duct tape. Hey, these are kind of cute glasses. Too bad that they don't work for regular vision.
So let me do our prize winners.
Okay.
Okay. And I will show the prizes.
Who do?
Okay. Oh, I might just butcher this name. I'm so sorry, because you've been a fabulously fun participant and commenter on the Yarn Closet. Anish Norg? Norgay? I don't know.
Okay.
Anish,
Spell it out.
Anish. You know who you are. Send us your actual address
And-
at The Yarn Closet.
And tell us with your name, phonetically.
The Yarn Closet at yahoo.com. So you will get this
Funky bag.
bag by Darn Yarn, Minnesota, and one of the fun parts, there's a snap at the top, which I love, and then it is a 2-section with a zippered pocket in the middle. I personally
Oh,
don't love
handy.
this style, but many people do, because you can fold it down and then you can have stuff in one side and your yarn in the other side.
But then if you're going someplace, you can put just a little bit of money in there.
Yeah.
And your phone in the inside zipper.
So you will also get a hand balm from
Body balm.
Body Balm, Growly Bear Soap Company out of
Ma-
Arizona.
Mayor, Minnesota? No, it's Mayor, Arizona.
Arizona, not Minnesota. We don't
Yeah,
live there anymore.
yeah.
A bath, BOMB.
Balm.
Um,
Your daughter was in the store with us the other day and wanted to
oh, I
get
know,
those.
I
and
know, but
said no.
she can't with her skin.
No.
And then the Braille stitch marker set, which
are
has
cute.
stitch marker and some clips in a little heart container, because we do try to look with our hearts first. But also remember, you can protect your own heart, guard your own heart.
And you can put your breath mints in that afterwards for when you go out so many nights a week.
And here's a little soak, individual
What is
wool.
it?
It's wool wash.
Oh.
In pineapple groove, I think it's called. I can't read it. Then you have 2 individual, one of a kind crochet hooks, because people, even if you knit, you need crochet hooks sometimes.
Yes, when
Fix-it hooks are great, but
Fix-it.
sometimes you just need a crochet hook.
And these are
So-
made by her husband.
I think we're talking a 3 and a 6. A baby set of sock blockers. Your lovely thank you for participating, your thank you card, and remember to look with your heart first. These are great because you can write on the back when
Yeah.
you need to write a note in your project. And then this is Strawberry Fields, the Highland Superwash.
Cute.
It is a 50-gram sock tube, so you can definitely make a pair of shorties out of this. If you throw in separate toes and heels, or toes, heels, and cuffs, or, cuffs and heels.
That is really
If you
cute.
don't want to use it, you just unwind it like a sock blank, and then if it's a little crinkly, remember that whatever you knit or crochet with later, if you actually block it, that crinkly will work itself out, just like in a sock blank, people, just like it.
And you know, when you get something like that, now that's so cute, and I can picture Prue wanting that. Couldn't you just finish off the ends and use it as a little,
Yes, scarf lady.
see this? There was a reason why Maud, remember Maud?
I remember Maud.
Yeah, what was her name anyway? Why? Because she had a crepey neck.
Teresa Patton, Patton. Teresa, you have won prize number 2. This is in a project bag made by Yarn Pop. They've been around quite a bit, and I have a few of these because they're a little bit more, they're not as expensive as some of the indie bag makers because they're a slightly larger business and they've been around longer. But they have this hole so you can put your yarn through it, or your headphones if you use it as a little purse.
Oh, how cute.
So once
Do you have any
again,
more of those at your house?
I have one. So once again, you can have your thank you
going to
card.
her house, and I'm going to sneak in and get it.
She's not. You have your growly bear. You have your bomb.
Bath bomb.
You have your soak. And I think this is in, can you read that? Lacy, maybe? Is that one Lacy?
Yeah.
And then
What are you soaking this? You're soaking your stuff
you're
in it?
soaking your wool in that. The stuff that you can't wash in the washing machine and dryer, you need to hand soak. And
Oh.
then you rinse it. And then you squeeze out all the excess. And then you either have to pin it out or lay it flat to dry. And then here's some, I think it's Royal Apiary. It's a fruity smell. It's some Tuft Woolens, also balm. Your stitch
A little
markers.
soup on there.
Tuft Woolens is quite well known. But scents, I can only do certain scents. So when I was gifted a few things, like the soak and the tuft, I ended up needing to re-gift. Because I can only do certain scents. I'm very sensitive. You get the 2 crochet hooks, a 5.5 and a 9mm. And if you don't crochet, if you don't feel you need it with your knitting
give
stuff,
it to somebody
give it to
else.
somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't care if you give this stuff away. Here's another 50 gram in Downtown Days. It's Cloudborne Highland Superwash sock. I find that this stuff is very sturdy for socks, but also washes up much softer. But I really
I
kind of
love
like
the muted colors.
the muted colors.
Mm-hmm.
So, Teresa Patton, please email TheYarnCloset@yahoo.com. You will get your prize.
And Anish.
Norgay. I'm going to go with Norgay. And
Did you put the cards in each one so we
no,
can
I
see?
kept the card so I know whose address goes to which bag, and I can be specific when I email our shipping sponsor. Thank you, Grandpa Ed. So I'm going to take this. Remember how I complained that my mother bought this the other day? Well, I'm going to see if it actually works if I try to do some mosaic knitting.
Put it a little bit closer because I can't see that. Oh yeah.
The reason there are 3 color tops are for different weights of yarn.
So if you just had 2, you could just use 2 on it or use 3 on it.
Right.
That's really clever. Oh, but you could use 1 on it. Did you just see that?
Yeah.
So you know what I have trouble with? I can't figure out where is that yarn attaching on my hand, and I'm moving that yarn.
Yeah, so
around.
if you want it, if you have
No.
a hard time, you could just use this and put your 1 yarn through it and you'd always know where it is.
No. What I want is one of those bags that I can put my yarn inside and then just have it go through. That's really a cute idea.
And then my
So-
mom
so-
bought these and didn't know what they were for. They're really long, and I explained that I want to try lever knitting because I think my style of backwards knitting. So this never moves.
So you have your knit stuff is on here, but your knitting, oh yeah. This is another thing I'm not doing.
There are many different styles of knitting,
But
just
look
in
at
the
the
same
price.
way.
But look at, I got
$1.50 for 3
sets.
sets. You got a 13, a number 13, a number 8, and a number 17. So
Thrift stores
you got
really,
two really
have a lot of.
big millimeters and one, I think the 8 is like a 5 or a 6
I
millimeter.
liked how long they were, and then that one real fat one.
Yeah, you like that, but when you start working with it, if you're trying to just hold them,
Yeah.
it gets heavy, and you've already complained about that.
Yeah, I have.
So I will take
But,
them to try.
but see, if I don't remember I've complained about it, then I try it again. Gives me something new to complain about.
But anyway, there are different styles of knitting in the same way there are different styles of crochet, like Tunisian crochet, what's the thing? Hairpin crochet. There's color work styles in crochet, like there's color work styles in knitting. And, we all just have to try what we're doing, and don't be afraid to try something new and blow it. Like I just blew it on that sweater. All I've got to do is rip that seam back and do it again. And watch a different tutorial, because I literally could not follow. I thought I could follow the picture tutorial that I found online,
Yeah.
and I couldn't figure it out. So then I went back to one of the tutorials that I've done on YouTube. She's relatively good in her description. Sheep and Stitch. And I do know how to do a, what is that called?
What? Well, give me
When
a
you
hint.
when you finish the toe on when you finish the toe on the socks, it's not a salvaged edge. It's the word. What's the word that I'm looking for?
Somebody write in and tell her the word.
No, I'm getting the word.
Okay.
Bum, 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 bum. Ooh, there's a fake grafting one on here. I might have to do that.
This. Isn't this pretty, you guys?
Kitchener stitch. I do know how to do the Kitchener stitch. So I do have an extra tutorial on that I'm going to follow and just probably redo it. Although I might look at Roxanne Richardson's fake seaming.
Fake seaming?
Yeah, because I'm always... So you seam it, you seam the live stitches so that you can't see the seam, so that it's just continuous.
Huh.
Because honestly, if you're going to wear a sweater, you want it to look as good as you can make it look. And I understand that things are not perfect. Trust me, there is an error in everything I do. There's an expectation of error in everything I do, but certain errors I will allow for versus others.
We were taught, whenever we took quilting classes, that the Amish women purposefully, how would you say that, make one error in a planned error in every quilt that they make, because they believe that we shouldn't be trying to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And so they plan it out to have a little
Well, I
error.
think we all need to acknowledge that none of us are perfect. We can strive for it, but none of us are really going to get there.
I used to tell my daughters, this is a good one. I used to tell my daughters when they'd say, oh, that guy is so nice and stuff, but he's then they'd think of, what was wrong with some guy, why they didn't want to date him. And I'd say, you know what? But remember, when you're looking for a husband that is going to be perfect, you're going to have to be perfect. We don't want to set ourselves up for that, because none of us are perfect. And you got to accept that we're all different, and we all screw up.
Yeah, but it's still hard to live under the same roof with someone.
Sometimes, yeah, it is. But
So anyway, the big news, the big announcement for the anniversary month is that we're going to scale back for this following year, that you will be able to follow the Yarn Closet blog on Patreon. There will be some free giveaways through Patreon of like digital content. And if you want to participate in Patreon, then you can get involved in the prizes that are going to go out in this upcoming year.
And we're still going to have this podcast.
We're still
you
going to
think?
podcast, but we're shooting for like maybe once a month
Podcast?
podcast.
Oh, are we?
Maybe once a month.
She could have told me that 10 minutes ago. I wouldn't remember.
Oh yeah, we talked about it last week and yesterday.
Probably.
Um,
And I'm
So-
closing down my Facebook page that I've had forever and ever. And I do reviews of lots of stuff that Ed and I go to, and restaurants and stuff. It's too hard. I have too many headaches. And the other day I just started to cry because I had such a headache. And I thought, you know what? The strain on my eyes from that little screen, because a lot of times I'm doing it in the car on the way home. I just said, I
can hear Prue.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they're back. We're
They're
done.
back, so we're wrapping it up. Remember, look with your heart first, and it is
Yeah.
okay to guard your heart because you're the only one that you can control in whatever situation you're in.
And enjoy the friendships that you make on here. Enjoy the people that you routinely watch. I watch Lynette all the time, Crochet Grammy. I think she's Crochet Grammy. She's something like that. I watch her all the time. You know, different ones. Enjoy your friendships, whether they're people that, you know, are real friendships that, you know,
That you get to have coffee with or not. It's okay.
Get a cup of coffee and have a cup of coffee with somebody on here.
Yeah. So, see you next time.